perfume from Brigitte Gabriel. I mean, that's, if nobody's taking you up on that, that might be an idea.
Well, thank you. You made my day. Well, now we just need to hope and that a businessman in listening who is a mega millionaire who's going to give me my own perfume line
There you go.
so I can have enough money to support all the ministries I want to support and my effort.
Hey, this is great. Brigitte, so many things I want to talk to you about, but I want to give you an opportunity, first of all, maybe to our listeners who are unfamiliar with your work, although most of them are because you've been on our program several times. Tell our listeners what you do.
I am the president of the largest national security grassroots movement in the United States, Act for America. We are concerned about national security, concerned about the rise of radical Islam, and we as people are coming together to make a difference. And the reason why I was so motivated to start something like this after September 11th is because of my background. My life has been affected by radical Islam, where my 9/11 happened to me in Lebanon when I was a little girl at the age of 10, when the radicals blew up my home, bringing it down and burying me under the rubble wounded. So I came to America and I thought I left all the crazies behind me, only to find out that they actually followed me here to the United States.
So we have you to blame. Is that it? They were coming after you?
No. See, God sent me here to warn Americans about what's coming. See, that's how we need to look at it.
Right.
And that's why I started speaking about the radical Islam after September 11th and wrote books about it to educate Americans about who we are truly dealing with. Most Americans did not pay attention. I mean, most Americans didn't even care or pay attention what Islam was or radical Islamists and their ideologies. And September 11th was a wake-up call to all of us.
Do you know this story appeared over the weekend, and we have a link to it at our onenewsnow.com site. There's a story, I saw it by Fox News, about this American pastor in Iran, and he's over there, and he's been jailed because of his Christian faith. And he's been told, evidently he's 32-year-old man, American man, but his family's in Iran, so he visits them, I guess, every once in a while. Father of two people. He left his home in Boise, Idaho. He started an orphanage over in his in Iran. But he's been arrested, put in jail, and he's got a message out to the world somehow or another. About his conditions. They're terrible. And he said, quote, "They are waiting for one thing," this is the Iranian government, "for me to deny Christ, but they will never get this from me," end quote. Do you know any more about this man or this story here?
No, I have not followed it because, I focus mostly on terrorism and issues relating to national security. But, I can say that I feel so sorry for him because I know exactly what they do to Christians in Iranian prisons, specifically to make them denounce Christ and adopt Islam. And they apply such torture tactics that most people, a lot of people don't even survive, and those who survive are very fortunate to do so. And so we just need to keep him in our prayers and hope that he somehow makes it out alive, and God will do a miracle in his life.
Well, we're trying to help keep the public attention on this here at AFA and AFR.
And his name is, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing, but Saeed Abedini, yes, I think is the name of the American pastor.
So if you want to read more about this, you can go to our website, onenewsnow.com, onenewsnow.com. We got the story here about the imprisoned American pastor, 32 years old, father of two, and that he's being held
in the most brutal prison in Iran. This prison has that reputation for being the most brutal in the country, which has got to be saying something in Iran.
Yes, but we have little or no, diplomatic relations with Iran. Obviously, that's been well documented, so it makes it very difficult to do something.
Yeah.
Talk about where we are. You've been talking about our need for national security, to understand what's going on with radical Islam. Where are we today? in this?
Well, and I'm going to start with what happened after the election and the cover-up on Benghazi. The American public was so busy focusing on the elections, and of course all the media, all the news of the election dominated the media, that when our embassies were being attacked one after another, America woke up and realized that while the administration is talking about how we eliminated Al-Qaeda is on the run, Al-Qaeda doesn't have any legs anymore, we were forced to wake up and realize that Al-Qaeda is alive and well, and they attacked our embassy in Libya. And actually, since the attack of the Libyan embassy and killing of our ambassador, 20 embassies around the world were attacked within a week. But the media did not cover the story because they had more important issues to focus on, such as the re-election of President Obama. Now, after President Obama now became elect for the second time, we are now, the American public need to understand what happened in Benghazi and why we need to pay attention to how that operation went so badly to the point where our ambassador died. And the information is not going to come out unless Congress has a hearing or have a select committee that will do investigations into Benghazi. And on our website, actforamerica.org, we have an open letter right now to Congress because we want to make sure that a select committee is put together to conduct this investigation, because unless they are forced to come under oath to testify and tell the truth, they are not going to do so. And I believe this is such a critical time and such a critical moment for our country, and the message we send our enemies as to whether we are paying attention to this problem and will do something about it or not. So I urge people to go to our website and sign that letter.
Where is that?
actforamerica.org.
One of the parts of this story about Benghazi, and keep in mind, folks, as Brigitte just said, we had 4 Americans die over there, including our ambassador. And but the part of several parts of this of what happened in the story that was a head scratcher for me was and was unclear and unexplained is that immediately after we learned what happened, the White House and President Obama and the White House came out now with this story about this being being a riot, which was as a result of people watching an anti-Islamic video, and then they go down to the compound there, and kill our people, 4 of our people there, and somebody obviously within just a few days it was clear that was not true, but President Obama and others kept on with this storyline. Brigitte, who concocted, was it a concoction, this story about this video, and why did they stick with it so long? I mean, in light of everything that had come out.
Tim and Ed, this is exactly why this is so troublesome. I mean, we knew that this was not a video. Actually, more people in the Islamic world found out about this obscure video from Obama and Hillary Clinton when they came on television apologizing for the video. Up to that point, most people haven't even heard of that video. Most Muslims around the world. They helped give publicity to that video. And the reason why we are pushing for an investigation, for a select committee to investigate Benghazi, is because, look, if it wasn't for Leon Panetta testifying on Capitol Hill week before last on Thursday, saying he did not even speak to the president in the 7 hours during the whole operation. He had spoken to the president prior to the operation in a pre-scheduled meeting. It wasn't exactly about Benghazi. And for 7 hours, the president was nowhere on the phone, neither in the Situation Room or monitoring or paying attention to what was happening in Benghazi. The Secretary of State did not even talk to Leon Panetta, not even once, neither before or after the operation. That's a major failure in our intelligence operation, where on the world stage, when the whole world is watching how an American embassy has been attacked, the ambassador killed for the first time in over 30 years, 4 Americans killed, 3 others with the ambassador, that America has no connection as to how this happened, who did it, what was going on, how come there was no protection at the embassy, and then to put out Rice to come on national television on 5 television shows on a Sunday and say that it was because of some obscure video. I mean, who concocted this? Obviously, somebody had to get together at the White House and brainstorm this great idea that, okay, these are our talking points now. We're going to go on television and we're going to tell everybody this was a video. Even though the Prime Minister of Libya came out and said there was no demonstrations. You couldn't even find a cockroach on the street before this thing happened. The video has nothing to do with it. So we were getting 2 contradicting messages, one from our government that was very different than the information that was coming out of Libya.
Yeah, and then the President of the United States, Barack Obama, several weeks later goes to the United Nations and continues to push the story of a video when he knew it wasn't true. I mean, what do you call that?
I call that one of 2 things. It's either knowing the truth and deceiving the American public, pure out deception, or covering up the truth because there is information that they do not want to get out because it will get them in trouble. This is exactly why we're calling for the investigation. Now, most people know, in the intelligence community, know that there's a weapons transaction operation going on where we were funneling money to Syria. And Ambassador Stevens know about it, and that's why something went wrong in the operation or in the transfer of weapons at the warehouse, and this is when he was killed. And maybe because our president does not want to come on the air and tell the American public that we were conducting an undercover arms smuggling operation to the rebels in Syria, because he doesn't want that to be known, and that's why they're covering up. And this is where the American public need to come together and hold our elected officials' feet to the fire and say, you owe us the truth, because we, the American public, deserve to know how our government is operating. After all, this is a government from the people, by the people, for the people. This is not Russia. This is not the Middle East. This is not the KBG or some Arabic dictator. This is the United States.
Yes.
We need to know the truth.
Brigitte Gabriel, who we're trying to get something out over here with our interview, folks. Ed and I are trying our best. We really are. But there's only so much we can do here. Brigitte Gabriel is our guest. Her website is actforamerica.org, actforamerica.org. I want people to understand again what you were talking about a few minutes ago, because the liberal news media in this country is it's shameful the way that they're in the tank for President Obama. I don't care if they're liberal or not. That's fine, but just cover the news and hold this administration to account like you do every other administration. But about that, one of the most bizarre parts of this story was what you mentioned a few moments ago. And I don't know if people grasp this or not. Folks, our embassy in Benghazi, is that what you call it? Is it an embassy?
Well, it was a
consulate?
Yes, a consulate, kind of like embassy. It was our diplomatic base in Libya.
Okay, so you have this in Libya going on. We know it's under attack. All right, our embassy's under attack. Lives are in danger, folks.
Right.
Keep this in mind. The president knows this is going on, and he doesn't even talk to anybody. Of importance.
He's not in the Situation Room.
No, he's not in the Situation Room. He doesn't even call.
Why wasn't he paying attention and being on the phone
What
with
is he
Leon
doing?
Panetta?
What is he doing?
During the duration of the operation.
What is he? Is he watching Sports Center? What's he doing?
Getting ready for a fundraiser in Las Vegas. That's what he was doing.
Because he had to leave the very next morning, didn't he, or the very next afternoon to go to Las Vegas for a fundraiser, right?
That's right.
So you're serious?
Yes, I am serious. And see, this is why when Leon Panetta was subpoenaed to Congress when they did the hearing and he came and testified, the whole world was stunned. I mean, they're looking at it thinking, why didn't this information come out earlier? I mean, you would think, since Benghazi happened, that the president was paying attention to what was going on. I mean, he came on television. We are on top of this.